Hello everyone, I am Adonis Recap. Before watching the video, I hope you could take 3 seconds to like, subscribe to support me. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to receive the latest videos. Thank you and wish you a happy time. Today, let's continue to follow the next developments of the story where we are trapped in a day for 1,000 years in the next chapters. In the previous chapter, Wu Shen invited his younger wife and Meng Lan to join his film crew as the third leading actress. Additionally, he saw collaboration with Huang, one of the top computer technology geniuses in the world. At this moment, while Wu Shen was massaging Huang's back, she was actually enjoying it and moaning in pleasure during the night. Her body felt much more comfortable and relaxed with that massaging machine. It felt like she was soaring through the sky with Wu Shen. 1 hour after the massage, Wu Shen asked, "What do you think? What fields are beyond the reach of computer programs in the offline world? So I won't ask again. Do you want to play with me?" And Huang immediately sat up, looking skeptical, and asked, "Just as partners and friends, why do I feel like you are pursuing me?" Hearing that, Wu Shen burst out laughing and replied, "Ha ha ha! The real world is not as simple as a computer program. It will be much more complicated, but from my understanding, your answer is a deal." And Huang gently responded, "Let's give it a try. If you're not interested, then I can't guarantee that I will continue playing with you." Wu Shen politely held her hand and said, "All right. That's it for today. Good night, and tomorrow I will tell you the details." Transfer scene 45 minutes later. After returning home, Zhuang Xiao Dai now in a beautiful night dress meets Wu Shen. She speaks up, "I'm bothering you again, Wu." Seeing her shy appearance, Wu Shen immediately hugs her tightly and says, "Xiao Dai, what the Xu family is targeting isn't just you, but our company. You and I are one, so let's not be too separate." Xiao Dai sweetly replies, "Yes." In the midst of their affection, a call suddenly comes in. Wu Shen answers, "Hello, King Min. Why are you still up so late?" On the other end of the line, King Min says, "Husband, the outfits and accessories designed by Sister Yu Rong and made for your new film are ready, but Tao Nanying was poisoned while filming. You should come here to assess the situation." Wu Shen frowns and replies, "All right, I'll come back immediately." After hanging up, he says, "The interesting thing is that blessings are plentiful, but misfortunes never come alone." He gently kisses Xiao Dai's forehead and instructs, "Xiao Dai, please go to sleep first. Also, the progress of our company's new play should not be halted at any point. Just continue as planned." She replies, "Yes, understood." At that moment, Wu Shen called in Huang and said, "I know you're still excited and can't sleep, so wake up." Upon hearing this, she surprisingly replied, Go ahead." Wu Shen continued, "Someone's life is in danger, and I need to quickly return to Donghai, so I don't have time to investigate. Please help me find the connection between Zenlin Corporation and Jinfu Corporation and the poisoning case of Tao Man Ying." And Huang said, "Tao Man Ying was poisoned. How serious is it? I'll let you know after investigating. But how can I find you when I get to Donghai?" Wu Shen teasingly replied, "Why aren't you sleeping and want to come to Donghai to find me, huh? Ha ha ha, I'll send you the location later." Upon hearing this, and Huang replied, "Oh, don't call me like that. It's uncomfortable." 3 hours later, and Huang finished the investigation, and at the same time, Wu Shen arrived at the hospital and asked Lei, "How is my sister-in-law doing?" Lei replied, "Luckily, she was discovered and brought to the hospital in time. Everything is fine now. With the caring help of King Min and Yu Rong, Man Ying will be fine." Wu Shen said, "All right, Lei, let's talk business. If my sister-in-law takes on the role of filming all these movies, that means you, Lei, will make a lot of money. Lei, you will not only make money, but also gain reputation. This is something Lei you won't be able to handle." Wu Shen continued, "Lei Yu clashed with Zhen Yuan Su, the second shareholder of Jinfu, who was about to be kicked out of the house, and they worked together because the pair of earrings designed by King Ming coincidentally were produced by Zhen Yuan Su's department, so my sister-in-law was poisoned by him." King Ming said, "Ha, old Shu has gone too far. Oldly cursed. Damn, if he dares to be Lei Yu's underling, I'll skin him alive." Wu Shen said, "I asked Zhao Gilai and Wang Zhong Yuan along with the gang to go catch him. Lei, let's go watch a good show." Shortly after Wu Shen, old Lei Yu Rong, King Ming, and Huang all arrived at an abandoned house. Tied up and beaten up is Zhen Yuan Su, who is being gassed due to a few blows to the chest by Wu Shen's gang. Wu Shen asked, "And Huang, have you followed my request?" And Huang nodded and replied, "Of course, your belongings will not be lost, so do not worry." Wu Shen said, "Up." While his right hand was manipulating the phone, his left hand held a vial of nano-robot syringe, looking like Hulk serum, intending to turn the guy into a giant green creature. Wu Shen injected the guy in the neck, looking dangerous, and said, Zhen Yuan Su, the matter with Boss Su is settled. If you continue to cause trouble, without a few words of warning from Mr. Lai, you will be in trouble. Like being poisoned, I will make you taste the poison. As the drug took effect, the guy started foaming at the mouth, with his eyes rolling back like a rabid dog, and in Huang's curious gaze, Wu Shen said, he seems like he's about to die. I can't let him die so easily. Wu Shen covered the guy's mouth and said, here, take this antidote. Drink it. Escaping death, Zhen Yuan Chu asked stutteringly. What is this? What kind of drug is this? Wu Shen said cunningly, you don't need to know about that. From now on, if you don't have my medicine for half a month, you'll be worse off than if you were dead and resurrected. Don't bother King Min anymore in the future. And Huang chuckled and lightly flicked his hand, saying, ha ha, you really are a villain. Seeing the discord between the two, Chaeyoung's assassin eyes stared and thought, there seems to be something wrong between this girl and her young husband. King Min worriedly thought, at first, it seems like her husband called her sis. Old Lai, now relieved after being let off by his brothers, gleefully said, Xiao Wu, that was really effective, even better than the torturous methods I thought of, like begging for mercy and causing numbness in his manhood. All right, let him go. If Xiao Wu has worked hard all night, go rest well. I have someone with Man Ying, so don't worry. Wu Shen said, Chaeyong, you go back first. I have something else to tell King Min. You wrong, nonchalantly replied, got it, see you later. All right, that's it for Wu. He seems angry now, so be careful when you go back. After an hour at Wu Shen's house, King Ming eagerly asked, husband, do you want to buy a new pajama set for my little sister? Wu Shen laughed and replied, and Huang is not a new little sister. We are friends. And Huang glanced at him and answered, yes, we just met tonight. King Ming innocently said, oh, right, but it seems like my husband and I have only known each other for a short time. And Huang looked frustrated and said, hey, girl, suddenly it looks like I've been rejected. You and those around you are really strange. Wu Shen said, okay, let's get to work. And Huang, next up, there's still a big task for you. He gazed sharply and said, Qing Ming, Lai Yu's matter is not as simple as flipping over. Lai Yu will not admit his failure. He will believe that his stupid teammate, Shen Yuan-Chu, sabotaged his plan. He will personally deploy and strike again, similar to what happened with Jin Fu. Because we helped Lai Cheng, he wants to incapacitate us. He wants the world to know that anyone who helps Lai Cheng is his enemy, and Huang, you have to write a different program, preferably nano-robot application, like this time it's installed on all the jewelry of Jin Fu to collect transaction traces of all items sold by Jin Fu. And Huang excitedly said, well, if that happens, we can find the real culprit by examining the actions of the jewelry handlers. Wu Shen said, you understand, just go ahead and do it. Although the equipment in the house cannot be compared to yours, it's not much different. Before running back to her room, and Huang said, the procedure is simple and can be done quickly. I think nano-robots will be more interesting. Can you help me create them in the future? Wu Shen pulled King Ming closer with a mischievous look and replied, you should start with the program first. I'm a bit tired, and I have to wink at King Ming first. And Huang unwillingly said, why can you sleep well while I have to work? Am I your slave? Wu Shen said, isn't it your habit to be too excited to sleep until the work is done or something? And Huang jokingly said, oh, you're not a worm in my stomach. How do you know me so well? King Ming affectionately said, husband, let's go to sleep. Don't delay the work of your sugar baby sister. Upon hearing this, and Huang burst out in anger, ah, hey, who is the sugar baby girl? You used to be my little sister. Wu Shen and King Ming embraced each other warmly in the counseling room. He said, okay, and Huang has gone to work, King Ming. What do you want to play today? King Ming joyfully replied, hey, you still understand me, my love. Arriving in the room, King Ming no longer disguised herself as a white rabbit servant. Now she wore ancient-style clothing, but no less charming, saying, today, the slave stole money from the old man and ran away. On the way, she was caught. Sir, can you forgive me? Wu Shen prepared to take his clothes off and replied, of course not. I have to punish you myself. In Huang's room next door, she was working when she kept hearing moans of, oh yeah, baby. So she was a bit curious, thinking, what strange sounds are those? After the sounds of a stop, King Ming's voice came up, boss, please don't hit me anymore. I will serve you well. And Huang curiously followed the sound, thinking innocently, isn't he and that girl going to bed? What else could it be? Are they working hard? And Huang approached the room and leaned in to listen through the door. Wu Shen's voice came up, this faulty thing won't work without hitting it. Come on, push harder. At this moment, and Huang's face turned beet red, unable to utter a word. What on earth are those two doing? She hurried back to her room, covered her ears, and muttered to herself, don't listen, work. In Huang's mind, the scene of Wu Shen and King Ming using the cowgirl position energetically appeared, accompanied by Wu Shen's lascivious expression as he said, "You naughty thing, can't let you off without a spanking, come on, harder." And Huang's head felt like it was about to explode with embarrassment for them. She furiously threw things around and said, "My head is now full of these weird images. I still have to work. This is driving you crazy." Oh, well, after their intense session, Wu Shen came to Huang's room and called out, "Hey sis, have you finished the program?" And Huang, looking extremely fatigued with bleary eyes and dark circles, replied, "Ah, just finished." Wu Shen asked, "What's wrong with you? Isn't this program supposed to be easy for you?" And Huang responded indignantly, "Ha, next time don't be so over the top while working. It's really annoying. But I have already written a program fully configured for you. You just need to set up a control station, add 2 more components, and it will auto-install." Wu Shen gently stroked her head and said, It's been hard work. Our and Huang is really diligent." She blushed and replied, "Who is our?" Seeing King Ming approaching, Wu Shen said, "King Ming, for the next 2 days, all Jinfu stores must be closed for renovations. Tell the outsiders it's about Zhen Yuansu while quietly installing nano robots in all jewelry." She responded, "Yeah, TNT and I can handle it ourselves. My love, make sure this plan doesn't leak out." Wu Shen then kissed King Ming's cheek and said, "I also have to go back to Shanghai. We need to be cautious with the Sinang family regarding the poisoning incident of Tao Man Ying. Let's go, sister." 3 hours later in Shanghai, Xiao Dai's film crew was busy working. She said, "The actors have been reading the script for days. Today they have to wear costumes and act." Suddenly, Wu Shen burst in and loudly said, "Xiao Yi, wait." He gravely took Xiao Yi's outer dress. She was a little confused and asked, "Mr. Wu, what's wrong?" Wu Shen carefully examined and said, "Xiao Yi, you must not be poisoned like Tao Man Ying." Xiao Yi was touched and ran to hug him tightly, saying, "Thank you, Mr. Wu." Wu Shen advised, "Soon you will be a great movie star, so you must pay attention to everything." He handed her the dress and said, "This outfit is fine. Xiao Yi, go perform. I will check other things." While Wu Shen was checking some props, he remarked, as expected, these small knives could damage the actor's face. Ruba said, "Mr. Wu, last time the leaked script incident wasn't thoroughly investigated. The Xiang family infiltrator is taking advantage. We must find the culprit." Wu Shen replied, "The strongest member of the Xiang family is still abroad and hasn't made any moves. The current manager has been obstructed twice. Just let the fish take the bait. No need to worry. We just need to prepare well." He added with a sharp look, "Put aside the internal espionage matter. They are just copying the script. So I will increase the roll to see what they plan to do. If they copy too much, it won't be a film anymore." Ruba enthusiastically said, "If they plan to make 2 movies, the second part will have to be released next year. By then, I believe our film will already be completed." Wu Shen replied, "So our main task is to ensure the filming process goes smoothly and airs according to the plan. Our film production facility will not be ready until next year at the earliest, so I plan to lead the film crew to Hong Kong first to shoot indoor scenes. I believe the faster we shoot, the faster the post-production of the younger sister's film will also be completed. Mr. Gu, I cannot handle this alone. This time you and I will go to Xiangjiang." Ruba responded, "All right, Mr. Wu, when can we depart?" Wu Shen said, "We will leave tomorrow." The next day, on the other side, a man was loudly reprimanding. Surely a bunch of useless salt-eating guys a small company can't even handle. This man was Xiang Shangbai, the eldest son of the Xiang family. On the other side, the bald-headed man replied, "Brother, this is not our problem. They must have been threatened by Leiyu, which is why they fled to Xiangjiang. This person is the 4th young master of the Xiang family, Xian Yudong, but Bao Zhenhui cannot protect them. I remember that Bao Zhenhui has always liked the second Mist since childhood. Why didn't he tell the second Mist to come to Xiangjiang to play?" On the other side, a slender girl said, "Why come to Xiangjiang and still want the Mist to provoke Bao Zhenhui again? Your brains are still elementary school students." This girl is Xiang Xianan, asking, "Isn't it? The people from the Wu family are more interesting than Bao Zhenhui and Ding Duanlong." She looked annoyed and added, "So this time, I will believe you guys. If you dare to deceive me, don't blame me for coming back and beating you all up." At the same time in Xiangjiang, Wu Shen and Bao Zhenhui were doing something. Chen Hu, enjoying it, said, "Good for you, Wu. You are a much more professional director than the people I have met in recent years." He smoked his cigarette and added, "Unfortunately, the film and television industry in Hong Kong is now declining compared to before. It is difficult to continue to develop. Even if I want to get rich with you, I am a bit hesitant." Wu Shen cheerfully said, "Young Master Hui, There are countless ways to get rich. Although we cannot cooperate in this film, I still have another plan. Bao Zhenhui eagerly asked, Wu, what project is it? Tell me. Tsang Singanan called and asked, Zhenhui, did we agree that I wouldn't participate in any film-related matters after finishing filming? Have you regained your senses recently? Zhenhui replied, it's not me. Before he could explain, Xianan said, I won't say much more. Tomorrow, I will go see your new intentions. Turning to Wu Shen, he said, stop laughing, Wu. I'm afraid I'll delay your filming time. Wu Shen asked, is she the second Miss Jiang in the Tsang family? Hearing that, his face turned dark with a hint of fear, recounting a terrifying look that had stepped on a young man's burning bird and said, cut it, it's all burned now. Bao Zhenhai thought it was intimidating to say, from childhood to adulthood, she's like my nemesis. Wu Shen smiled and thought, it's either fortune or disaster. If it's disaster, it can't be avoided. Anyway, I'm determined to work for that family. It's better to directly confront what needs to be faced rather than deal with those behind the Tsang family. That's why I came to Shangjang to film. At this moment, Bao Zhenhai spoke up. Wu, please pause the filming for a few days. Wait for me to see her off before continuing. Wu Shen replied, Zhenhui, the enemy has come to the door on its own. There are some things that cannot be avoided. Zhenhui said, that's true. Besides deliberately avoiding her, it is just giving her a bigger reason to make things worse. Tomorrow, we will take it step by step, whatever step comes next. The scene then shifts to the next day. Tsang Xianan has arrived at Wu Shen's film crew. She spoke up, Zhenhui, my little one, it's been a few years. You seem more masculine now. This older sister didn't care that there were many people around. She came over to tease. Not bad. Oh, little brother, now you even have a chest. Not bad. Take off your clothes for big sister to see. Bao Zhenhui was like a king in Shangjang. Being the Tsang family's older sister made her somewhat envious. From a distance, watching the cheerful conversation between Zhenhui and Xianan, Zhao Yi silently evaluated. That's the second young lady of the Tsang family. She seems quite close to the young master of the Hu family, like siblings at home. She doesn't seem like she's here to cause trouble for the film crew. At this moment, a director holding a walkie-talkie announced, hello, everyone, please focus on your work and let's get started. Feeling distracted, Xiao Yi suddenly woke up and sweated, thinking, oh my, I lost my focus on my role again. Seeing this, Tsang Xianan approached and asked, this girl seems easily distracted. Are you a professional actress? Without hesitation, she walked up and squeezed Xiao Yi's chest, saying, let me check which one is fake. Xiao Yi awkwardly responded, this Tsang. Xianan criticized harshly. The image is real, but no different from street performers, not good at all. Xiao Yi, I've watched the movie you're in, it's no different from an adult film. Seeing this, Bao Zhenhui was also displeased but couldn't do anything. Feeling the tension, Wu Shen spoke up, Tsang, our actress is just losing focus, not a serious issue, right? Tsang Xianan replied sharply, it seems like your film is competing with ours, relying on these weak actresses just wandering around the film set. She continued, furthermore, the costumes worn by these actors are really of poor quality. They even had to come to Shangjang to film because the film city didn't have them. Is this called ambition or what? I thought it was still the 1980s and 1990s. Bao Zhenhui asked, Xianan, shooting in my home isn't that inconvenient, right? Wu Shen smiled and said, it's okay, young Master Hui. I feel like I've benefited a lot from Miss Chiang's suggestions. He turned and left, adding, however, I dare not film without any preparation. He called out, manhua, come help us with behind the scenes. He confidently stated, in fact, even if we don't use any real effects from props, as long as we have a green screen here, we can achieve any effect we want. Sang, please watch with us, whether it's ancient Chinese style, Hollywood style, or even Arabian style. Tsang Xianan retorted, oh, turns out there's a technical aspect. Actions relying solely on technology will have very little artistic vigor. Tsang Xianan saw that she could no longer delve into technical intricacies and switched to the film script. She said, forget about those things. Let me see what you guys are filming now. The enemy invading the capital and the princess turning into a prisoner. No, what princess is about to become a prisoner with neat, clean clothes, tidy hair, and beautiful makeup like that, right? Seeing this, Zhao Yi was also slightly stunned, trying to explain something, but Wu Shen said, it's okay, Zhao Yi. Stein here is guiding us in detail. Let's just listen. Seeing this, Tsang Xianan lit a fire to burn the script and said, all right, if you're ready to listen, I will personally demonstrate how to be a true actor. Setting the script aside, she began to mess up her clothes and hair, adding some pitiful expressions with fake dirt on her face. Xianan said, this is just the state when fleeing, but being a prisoner and being attacked by the enemy is a different state. Impressed by her outstanding acting abilities, Zhou Yi looked at Savanan with admiration, while Wu Shen clapped and praised. Tsai is truly professional and has a high level of acting skills. Tainan immediately returned to her previous state, saying, I can really teach. Maybe I can learn from it too. Well, okay, now I have to write a news like this and post it right away. The title will be Sang Xianan flies over Xiangjiang to teach script and acting to the new director. Wu Shen admits skills inferior to others. How does it look? Seeing this, the young man who specializes in filming behind the scenes and reporting related news about the film was confused and frozen. Sang Xianan spoke up, Bao Zhenhui, whether it's you or your friends, playing with you is really boring. Today is enough. I hope I could be happier tomorrow. Seeing her leave, Wu Shen said nothing. Bao Zhenhui hurriedly said, No, Wu, do you really want Miss Xianan to announce this kind of news? Wait for me here. I will run after her and beg her not to announce it. Wu Shen stopped Zhen Hui and said, Master Hu, the issue now is to put out the fire first, not just because of this report that Miss Xiang has caused trouble for so long. Let it go. Zhen Hai asked, Will it really affect when you post it? Wu, are you going to leave your new film like this? Wu Shen confidently said, Before the storyline was broadcast, it didn't matter much that we were criticized more on social media. It's just a matter of reputation. Instead, her issue is much bigger than ours. Wu remembered in his 1,000 years of reincarnation, he knew everything about Sang Xianan, but because she was sick and couldn't advance for more than a day, I couldn't be with her often. But now that the wheel of fate has started to turn, I no longer have that worry. Another day has passed. By now, the scene of humiliating the princess has been filmed. The rebels have invaded the princess's body and left. A corner. Xiao Yi truly excelled in his role from demeanor to costume. Everything has improved a lot, Sang Xianan asked. Oh, did you really follow what I said? Wu Shen laughed. Of course, we must absorb the good things. You have any other advice for us, Miss Xian? Seeing Wu Shen's demeanor, she was a bit surprised and thought, yesterday she used the news to embarrass Wu Shen. He didn't even get angry. He's actually much better than Bao Zhenhui and Ding Duanlong. Why do I feel like he's even more obedient and listens more? So let me try talking to him. Tainan immediately went to where Zhao Yu was and said, If you really want to speak frankly, I feel that this scene lacks artistic value and the plot does not adhere closely to historical truth. If you want me to design it, you need to set a more reasonable backdrop. Wu Shen, worried about Xianan, thought to himself, she grew up in the Xiang family film and television industry, excelling in both acting and directing. But her problem is that once she is in a film, it's easy, but hard to get out because she becomes too immersed. What will she do to overcome this? Xianan then took up her sword prop and decisively struck her co-actor playing the role of the traitor, shouting, The princess has been humiliated, adding to her resentment towards the country and family. What use is there if she doesn't seek revenge? She must be strong on the path of vengeance and cleansing hatred. But after injuring her co-actor, she turned coldly and said, The princess's twisted psyche, according to the beliefs of that era, her fate is only death. After speaking, she held the knife to her own neck to commit suicide. Seeing this, Xiao Yi cried out in fear and Bao Ru Hu quickly ran over to stop her, saying, Holy shit, Xianan is entering a state of extreme immersion again. I need to stop her. Wu Shen sees the seriousness of the situation as he thinks after stabbing other actors. She wants to stab herself. If she continues to do so, a murder will occur. At this point, Wu Shen immediately used the time loop system, activating the setting back to before the incident happened, which is the time of starting the role-playing. Still with the same dialogue when talking to Xiao Yi and Wu Shen, if you really want to say it, I think this scene is not convincing enough and the plot is not closely following history. If you want to design, you have to arrange more. Not letting her touch the sword, Wu Shen ran up and held her hand, calling Sang Xianan intimately. One hand around her waist and the other tightly holding her hand, he hinted, I think it would be better if we discussed your designs elsewhere and slowly. Xianan was stunned by this scene and stood still, not saying a word. After leading Sang Xianan to his private office on the 5th floor, Wu took out a bottle of champagne from the cabinet for them to enjoy and talk. He spoke up, There is no one else here now. Miss Xiang, we can talk now. You came to Xiangjiang to play. If you want to play, I will play with you some really fun games. Sang Xianan looked angry and replied, Don't act like you understand me so well. Know my preferences so clearly. Wu Shen began to use the charm he used to woo his wives. He replied, I truly understand you, even better than you do, Miss Xian. Do you dare to let me tell you about your past? Xianan waited for him to continue. Fine, go ahead. Let me see what the world has to say about me. Wu Shen began to narrate. Miss Xian from the Xiang family is a natural genius. She took the entrance exam to high school in grade 3 of elementary school, ranked first in the whole city, known as a once-in-a-hundred-years genius, entered Binda at 16, Cambridge at 19, determined to become a scientist at 23, planned to pursue a PhD, but her director father fell ill. Her grandfather brought her back to join the family's film business. Miss Xiang is both a director and an actress. She never expected her films to be praised, even winning the Golden Palm Award, becoming a rising star in the film and television industry. Whatever Miss Xiang does, whether lying still as a dead body or casually filming a street scene, the media always praises her skilled in acting and directing. Cheyenne thought you knew something noble, she said. Old and boring news are everywhere, no need to repeat. Wu Shen smiled and said, don't be hasty. What I just said is a turning point for Miss Xiang, because after that Miss Xiang tended to get bored with the film industry. She hated her job, shifted her focus to seeking excitement, never loved anyone but study human body with a male secretary. When facing her craziness, a male secretary felt too much psychological pressure and couldn't handle it. I didn't expect Xiang Xinanan to have a more exciting hobby than Su Qingming. Wu Shen continued, a talented woman willing to dedicate her first night, but the other party did not react. This directly sealed her dopamine secretion ability, making it difficult for her to feel excitement and joy. These things can't be found anywhere online. Hearing this first thing made her unable to continue gracefully enjoying the wine. Wu Shen told the second thing he knew about her. Miss Xiang lived like a dead body for a year. When introduced by a player, she started gambling. She brought $13 million, won $700 million. Her previous success relied on family relations, but gambling was the first time she felt the thrill of making big money with her own self. She could only secrete dopamine after a long time. She also mistakenly thought she would be the first goddess of the gambling world. Traveling to all the major casinos worldwide, Xiang won $30 billion in 6 months, with infinite scenery, but beauty that did not last long. 6 months later, bad luck struck and Xiang lost over $100 billion. Xiang had to sell half of the family's assets to pay off Xiang's global debts. Since then, Xiang has been confined in a large mansion in North America. Sighing, young mistress, I wasn't wrong. Wu Shen said cheerfully. I know you must be bored being confined. Even Xiang Jiang is here on behalf of the family to find some joy. I just hope the joy doesn't come to my employees. If you want to play, I'll play with you. She looked down and replied, you look so weak. What can you play? Wu Shen pulled out a Serapha rifle and said, if you want excitement, we'll play the most exciting game, Russian roulette. I'm sure Xiang, young mistress, is familiar with this game. Tainan held the rifle and asked, the most exciting playing tricks on girls then leaving. Looking at Xiaonan with her keen eyes and sharp judgment, she confidently stated, if we were to play for real, both you and I have a 50% chance of getting shot. You can't risk your life playing games with me, nor can you let me die, so I'm sure your gun is definitely out of bullets. Wu Shen replied in a bored tone, oh, Miss Time sees through it all. It seems I have completely lost to Miss Jiang. He looked out the window, full of disappointment, and sighed, not a good director, not good at playing tricks on anyone. He then opened the door and walked out, saying, my movie will be overshadowed by Miss Jiang's, investment wasted, as a failure being driven out by the Lai family. Then Ding Duanlong will surely take advantage of me. Better to endure humiliation now than later. Stanan thought, this guy is so weak, he's planning to jump out the window to commit suicide. I'm just here to play, can't let a murder happen otherwise. She hurriedly ran up and said, take it easy, don't jump to conclusions. Wu Shen saw her coming towards him, so he grabbed her and held her tightly, saying, I really want to die now. At this moment, Stanan was a bit confused and didn't quite understand what was happening. Wu Shen then leaned towards the window with her in his arms and said, Miss Xiang, let's die together. Faced with this situation, Stanan's face showed a bit of horror as she thought, what? Is he planning to pull me down with him? I'm about to die. She remained silent, full of fear, and said loudly, I don't. On the other side, and Huang smiled and said, this net shooting rubber bullet program will be over in 2 minutes. The arrangement is flawless. This villain is really heartless, playing with others like this, so cruel and lacking humanity. But it's really fun to watch, haha. Wu Shen and Xiaonan fell into a rescue raft that Wu had prepared beforehand. This was the first time Xiaonan had experienced such a surprising and adventurous game. She felt a bit excited and happy that she had not died. Wu Shen held her tightly and whispered in Xiaonan's ear, Miss Tiang, according to my feelings, it seems like you didn't pee your pants, but they seem pretty wet down there. Maybe you should change your pants first. This was the true nature of Wu Shen, threatening someone's daughter like this who could handle it. At this point, seeing her leaving in a huff, Wu Shen asked, Miss Xiang, you want to change your clothes before you go? Xiang Xiaonan, with a somewhat unfriendly face, just snorted and walked away. Bao Zhenhui ran up and said, Miss Xiang's demeanor is very dangerous. In the past, just with that expression. After a while, she made me suffer a lot. Wu, your prank just now may have been a bit too much. Wu Shen calmly replied, It's okay, Master Hui. I will take responsibility for her. You may need to work overtime with me today to complete the post-production. The first episode of the new series needs to be sent to the capital as soon as possible. The next morning at Beijing, Wu Shen met Qing and said, Miss, this is the first sample of our new TV series. Please take a look. But looking at her face at this moment, he thought to himself, Miss seems to be ill. Although Kinger's face was carefully made up, she couldn't hide her pale and lifeless appearance. She looked through the content of the film and said, This is a truly high-quality film. I will send the sample to relevant leaders. Synchronizing it with satellite TV tomorrow will not be a problem. He picked up the tea and said, Okay, I understand, miss, have some tea. But as soon as Kinger took a sip of the tea, she kept coughing. He observed and thought, It seems even drinking water is hard for the miss to swallow. Kinger set down the teacup and said, I have a smooth connection with Oh You Wrong. We've already finished more than half of the process. Just make sure you can complete the filming of the TV series. She stood up and said, I have many things to do, so I'll go ahead. But now her hand felt extremely dizzy, and she couldn't stand steady. Seeing this, Wu Shen quickly stepped forward to support her with a worried look and said, Miss, be careful. He helped her sit down and said, Miss, sit down first. Seeing the intimacy of the situation, King felt very embarrassed and avoided eye contact, saying, Maybe I've been working too hard lately and feeling a bit tired. Wu Shen said, Just a few moments ago, I saw you having difficulty swallowing, coughing when drinking water, and feeling unsteady on your feet. I hope you don't mind me asking, Miss, do you often experience symptoms of nausea and dizziness like this? Kinger was slightly surprised and hesitantly replied, Yes, it seems like all the symptoms you mentioned are. Wu Shen carefully looked at her colleague's breasts and asked, Do they still produce milk? Kinger blushed and replied, How do you know that? Wu Shen seriously said, Miss, you're sick and need to go to a large hospital for a checkup and proper care. It's best for you to go to a hospital abroad. If your condition gets out at this time, many things will become pointless. He then called Teruko and said, Teruko, help me contact the university hospital in Tokyo. I have a friend who needs treatment. On the other end of the line, Teruko responded, Wu Shen, if you need the chief physician, it will take at least 2 days. He replied, 2 days is the limit, so let's meet again the day after tomorrow. 2 days later, Wu Shen took King to the hospital. The doctor said the condition regarding the brain tumors caused by excessive radiation is severe, so surgery is needed as soon as possible. After returning to the room, he asked Kinger, Do you have a family history of illness or have you undergone brain radiation therapy in recent years? Kinger answered, My family has no medical history and no radiation therapy. The only significant medical procedure was a dental surgery 6 months ago with many tests conducted at that time. Wu Shen was a little surprised and asked, Please tell me the details. Kinger hesitated and said, It's a bit difficult to talk about. Wu Shen insisted, This could be very important. Miss, I hope you can tell me everything. Kinger began recounting. Once, when I was happy as I used to be in Wenzhou, a new steward was bold enough to try to take advantage of me when I was not sober to seize the opportunity to profit. After he touched my body for a while, I woke up and realized something was wrong. I was so angry that I cut off his manhood, but he was still a man, and he had enough strength to fight back and break one of my teeth at that time. Wu Shen said, Okay, I understand, miss. Please send me the medical report from the dentist you saw at that time. Kinger replied, Okay. He then examined the report prepared by the dentist Fang Jingyu at that time and thought, This name sounds familiar, let me think. At this moment, she held his hand tightly and spoke up. Wu Shen, listen to me. With this major surgery, no one can guarantee a 100% success rate, even in top hospitals. If something happens, I don't want to regret it. She leaned on him and said, If this surgery fails, I hope you can take care of my husband on my behalf. You know his abilities without me. He is just an ordinary person. But your plans like Wu in the TV drama, Chongdong, and many other projects, these projects will not be outdated as long as you help him. You are also helping yourself. Wu Shen smiled and asked, Chinger, are you really taking good care of the orphans here? Chinger smiled knowingly and replied, Even though he's a naughty boy, he's actually quite easy to manage. As for you, I can only say that very few women can resist not admiring your strength and intelligence. I, of course, cannot escape this temptation either. Perhaps I am greedy, but I truly want it all. It seems that King Er's marriage is just a role to play. Even at night in their luxury apartment, the sounds of affection filled the air. After making love, Wu Shen and King Er embraced each other on the bed, and he said, In any case, I hope your surgery goes well. I also remember Fang Jingyu. She was classmates and the closest friend of OU Rong when they were in school. King asked, what does that mean? Wu Shen replied, Fang Jingyu is also a great beauty who has always been OU Rong's card since childhood, but she has never been impressed by anything. OU Rong realized that Fang Jingyu was plotting against her, and in the end, they went their separate ways to find someone who could support and help her compete with OU Rong. Fang Jingyu helped her and Miss Jiang of the Liu family in everything. In conclusion, I think things are not as simple as they seem, and I will definitely get to the bottom of this story. If the surgery is successful, it seems that Wu Shen will have another beauty in his harem. 2 more days passed. In the operating room with a red sign in operation, sitting outside were Wu Shen and Teruko. She said, Wu Shen, the chief surgeon is the best surgeon here, and your friend King I believe the surgery will be successful. Wu Shen replied, I hope everything goes smoothly. Suddenly, he received a call from his girlfriend, OU Rong. He said, sorry, Teruko, you stay here. I'll go outside to answer the phone. Walking out to the hallway, he answered the phone. Hello, Sister Yang, why did you call me? On the other end, a dark and angry voice said loudly, I know you sent a message to her. In 2 days, you will meet Fang Jingyu, right? Wu Shen, you can pursue other women in the world. I won't stop you. But it can't be her. Do you understand me? I won't allow my man to be close to that woman. When hearing the beloved Yang's words of concern, he replied, I am not interested in Fang Jingyu. Rest assured, I am just investigating the matter. I'm afraid you might misunderstand, so I've deliberately informed you in advance. After pondering for a moment, Yu Rong was about to say something. Wu Shen quickly interjected. What you're worried about will never happen, Yang. I still have work to do here. So let's not talk about that for now. I'll hang up. A while later, the doctor came out of the operating room. Teruko asked, Doctor, how did the surgery go? He answered, everything went well and the patient can recover after the surgery. Seeing that, Wu Shen approached Teruko, saying, please take care of my friend. She has been troubled these days. Teruko replied, Wu Shen, I will take good care of her and arrange everything properly. You can rest assured. Wu Shen, now in a happy mood, held her hand sincerely and said, because our relationship is like your name, Teruko, we can treat each other with utmost sincerity. This was the first time she had seen this side of Wu Shen, so she was still a bit bewildered. Looking at him happily waving goodbye to her, she couldn't say anything, but her face blushed at the thought. There's no such thing as sincerity. Maybe it's just a dream of mine. Perhaps this is the unrequited love she has for Wu Shen. The next day in Beijing, Wu Shen was sitting enjoying a cup of tea and holding an iPad to watch something, which was the argument of the Tsai family's couple about King Er's disappearance. The man's voice said loudly, if Lao Tam keeps asking every day for 3 days, if he doesn't give me an answer, even if he loses his job in Zhongdong, he will come back to cause trouble. Miss Xiang replied, that's not good. If he doesn't do it, you go ahead. He seemed angry and interrogated. We often have small arguments, but it's harmless. But if the third son of the Liu family, the husband of Miss Xiang, really doesn't want to have small arguments and create a big fight with us because his wife and the reputation of the Liu family will be completely ruined, the Liu family will be destroyed, who will bother with us then? Miss Xiang replied indifferently. I really don't know where she went this time. I also didn't get involved in this matter. Wu Shen exclaimed, I thought third young master was weak and wouldn't react much, but I didn't expect him to react so strongly. My project in Zhongdong is in its final stages. He can't get involved anymore. He immediately called En Huang. Hello, dear sister. I'm sending you a photo of King from the Liu family. You can combine it with the video of her supervising television filming in Hong Kong. I need it for something. And Huang complained, more work again. You clearly said you would take me out for fun, but for the past 3 days, I've been busy with post-production work. Wu Shen said, just do as I said before, then I'll tell you the next interesting thing. And Huang hesitantly replied, all right, just don't lie to me. Wu Shen thought, after a while, the edited video of Madame Tam from the Liu family will be sent to Shandong, hoping that third young master will not cause any more trouble. Fang Jingyu's data has also been analyzed here, her figure on the screen. His sharp eyes thought, the regularity is truly remarkable. The clinic opens at 9:30 in the morning and closes at 6 in the evening every day. Customer information is never recorded electronically, and all information is written by hand. From this, I can deduce that this behavior is completely inappropriate for modern information technology society. Where there is something unusual, there is something hidden, interesting, Fang Jingyu. That evening, while the clinic was closed, Wu Shen immediately dressed in all black and infiltrated the information. He thought, although I don't know what she is hiding, I will definitely find out. After searching for a while, he only found statistics on the purchase and consumption of some medical devices and materials. Detailed records of customer personnel and illnesses were not found here. Based on his experience, he searched and found a secret door hidden at the flower vase. He gently turned it to reveal a hidden ending. After hacking the password, intent on grabbing the documents inside, unexpectedly, a snake sprang out and left a mark on Wu Shen's neck like a husky. No matter how daring he was, he couldn't foresee or avoid this move. Wu Shen immediately sat down on the ground, clutching his wound, thinking, "Holy shit, it's a venomous snake. Didn't expect to be flipped in the water ditch." At this moment, Fang Jingyu also walked to Wu Shen. She angrily snatched the file, interrogating, "Who are you? What are you going to do with my client's information?" Wu Shen looked blankly, thinking, "There are still 15 minutes before the poison spreads throughout the body. Since she's already here, I have to take advantage of the time to gather more information." He then spoke. "King of the Liu family suffered from intracranial tumor due to excessive radiation exposure, all because of you." Fang Jingyu coldly replied, "So what? If she didn't fall into my hands, she would have died elsewhere. Anyway, people will better die in our hands, become a stepping stone for us to move up." Wu Shen smiled. He took off his mask and asked, "How many steps you have to climb to deal with Yu Rong?" Hearing this name, Fang Jingyu was surprised and asked, "You? Who are you?" Wu Shen said, "You were favored by Miss Xiang of the Liu family after years of dedication, successfully entered the wealthy world, but the distance with Yu Rong is still too large. Seeing that you can no longer fill this gap, you plan to eliminate Yu Rong, right?" Jingyu smiled and asked, "So if I had read this information, are you trying to deceive me?" Wu Shen confidently said, "I know all of your past, Fang Jingyu. You can't hide from me what you plan to do. Both you and Yu Rong are equally beautiful. You have always been the center of attention in elementary and middle school. Well, one is called Milk Cow because of big breasts, while the other is called Airport because of small breasts. Later in high school and college, Yu Rong gradually shifted from school belle to the most beautiful woman in East Sea, while you gradually became forgotten by frivolous men and became Yu Rong's shadow. From there, you secretly began to compete with Yu Rong. Unhappy in marriage, you found a perfect spouse who was considered the best husband in the eyes of others. Later, Yu Rong sent her husband to his final resting place. The child was born through in vitro fertilization. She became a black widow in the business world. But she still was perfect, and you lost your virginity. Every time you think of Yu Rong, you feel uncomfortable. Shortly after, you discovered you were pregnant, but you and your husband had trouble and wanted to divorce. On a stormy night, you had a big argument and unfortunately fell down the stairs and miscarried. Worse yet, from that moment on, you permanently lost the ability to reproduce and become a mother. Therefore, your hatred towards Yu Rong reached its peak. Losing your mind, you replaced the body lotion with acid that you gave to Yu Rong. Your first thought was to make Yu Rong's skin ulcerated all over her body and strip her of the title of the most beautiful woman in East Sea. But the plan failed, and a relationship between the two of you has been strained ever since then. Fang Jingyu said, "All you said is correct, but are you sure you know what I'm planning to do? In a few minutes, you will be a dead body and I will uncover your identity even if you find some mystery. I will cover your tracks. The plan is halfway there, and I will not let any mistakes happen." After speaking, she smiled smugly as the victorious one. Wu Shen thought, "Something is definitely happening. Even though my guess was wrong, I will soon get to the bottom of it." His eyes then shifted to the time system. Reset. Just now, Wu Shen quietly went to Fang Jingyu's clinic in the evening to search for evidence related to King Er's brain tumor, but he fell into a trap set up in advance using his superior intellect. Wu Shen took advantage to gather information from Fang Jingyu and used the time rotation system to go back to 8:40 p.m. He brought a knife with him, killed a poisonous snake, and then opened the safe to take out the medical records. He thought, "Let me see if there are any secrets in here." Among the items inside were tools Fang Jingyu used to examine King Er's mouth, including a high-frequency electronic gun that had increased in frequency over multiple examinations. Wu Shen wondered if there were others in similar situations to King Er, and indeed, during that time, similar evil activities had been carried out on 5 other people. He asked himself, surely these 5 people have the same illness as King Er, right? Maybe I should hack into large hospitals to check. After a while, he was shocked to find that all 5 of them were similar to King Er, all with brain tumors due to excessive radiation exposure. With data from these individuals, Fang Jingyu could truly kill people invisibly with clever and secretive methods. Though difficult to escape from the thin but tightly woven net, especially when personally investigated by Wu Shen, it was hard to hide any secrets. However, what puzzled him was not knowing who Fang Jingyu's main target was until he turned the page, the medical record of a young girl named Wang Xiaomai. Wu Shen was astonished. Wang Xiaomei only works as a dental hygienist. But wait, this is not Song Yuan Ming's close friend. We need to piece together this data. According to him, the Fang and Wang families are very close and have a very good relationship. Wang Xiaomei has accepted Fang Jingyu as her godmother. But after Fang Jingyu's divorce, the two families lost contact until Wang Xiaomei went to college. She was able to contact Fang Jingyu in Beijing. Wang Xiaomei complained to her godmother that Yuan Ming always spent long hours in the recording studio to practice singing, and their relationship gradually became distant. So Fang Jingyu, who originally did not care about these things, but then she paid to build a similar singing room at home after seeing a photo of Wang Xiaomei and Yuan Ming. Wang Xiaomei sent a text message with a photo taken with Song Yuan Ming, Cha Yam's daughter, to Fang Jingyu that there is a singing room. Yuan Ming can come to the child's house to practice singing. We still can't separate as before, all thanks to the love of my godmother. Mr. Wu mumbled. In other words, when Fang Jingyu saw Yuan Ming, she recognized her as Yu Rong's daughter. With proper arrangements and Wang Xiaomei's singing room being used regularly, Yuan Ming could also suffer from brain tumors due to excessive radiation. I have to check the last time they used it. Indeed, Fang Jingyu built a singing room for Wang Xiaomei after King and 5 others were harmed to avenge Xia Yang. She was ruthless, wanting to harm Song Yuan Ming to death, even her own godmother. Now I just have to wait for the evil woman Fang Jingyu to return. Just return the result, no explanation needed, nothing else. No useless quotation marks or punctuation unless necessary. 2 minutes later, the door of the room was opened, but as soon as Fang Jingyu stepped in, Wu Shen immediately knocked her out with a surprise attack. She exclaimed, "Impossible, you haven't been bitten by a snake." Wu Shen replied, "I am in a hurry and have no time to talk to you." Later that day, Wu Shen led a group of his followers armed with weapons to Wang Xiaomei's recording studio. They all looked fierce as if they were ready to kill someone. Seeing them destroying things, Wang Xiaomei panicked and tried to escape. Song Yuan Ming asked, "Oh, Wu, what are you allowing them to do this for?" Wu Shen answered, "Yuan Ming, last time you were sloppy when practicing singing, so your best friend's studio needs to be destroyed immediately." Wang Xiaomei complained, "Senior, you are too overbearing. Why are you destroying my place? If you don't give me an explanation, I won't let you off." Wu Shen then smashed a speaker and said, "Witness for yourself. There is a hidden UHF electronic gun inside. The excessive electronic radiation in this studio is killing you. We'll discuss the specific reasons later. But for now, it's important that the 2 female students quickly go to the hospital for a full checkup. Do not delay. Hurry up." Wu Shen had brought his 2 younger sisters to the emergency room to be taken to the hospital. He said, "Doctor, please inform me as soon as there is a result." As the car was driving, Yu Rong suddenly rushed over after receiving the news and asked, "Honey, what's happening?" Wu Shen immediately hugged her tightly and told her about Fang Jingyu's sinister plan to exploit King and others as experiments, and then to use his own daughter, Wang Xiaomei, to plot against Yuan Ming. Upon hearing this, even a strong woman like Yu Rong couldn't help but be horrified. Yu Rong scolded, "Indeed, worse than animals." Wu Shen said, "I have taken her to Donghai. How to handle her is up to Sister Yang." Cut to late night in an abandoned area, Yu Rong immediately slapped Fang Jingyu hard in the face and yelled, "Son of a bitch, after so many years without meeting, I thought you had forgotten all about the past." Fang Jingyu, with a swollen face, said, "Huh, forgotten, huh? That you must still be investigating my dirty deeds behind the scenes, right?" Yu Rong angrily delivered a few punches and gritted her teeth, saying, "Huh, investigate what she's up to." Wu Shen spoke up, "Sister Yang, no need to waste words on her." He thought this situation arose from discovering that Kinger was ill. If not, Fang Jingyu would have to bear the consequences. The outcome, victory, or defeat is now in her hands. I have nothing to say, just regret that when burying her child, I won't be able to see it. Yu Rong asked irritably, "I don't understand. Why did you have an abortion and divorce for no reason, and now why do you want to hurt Yuan Ming? What did I do to deserve your hatred like this?" Jingyu replied, "You don't need to understand, and we don't need to understand. That's just life." With that, the 2 turned and walked away. Yu Rong said finally, "You're right. No need to know the cause or consequence anymore. If you dare to harm Yuan Ming, you must be aware of what will happen to you next." A while later on the Ferrari car, Mr. Wu handed Ms. Yang a switch and said, "Here, Ms. Yang." Yu Rong immediately understood. She took it and pressed the switch. On the other side, Fang Jingyu was suddenly surrounded by a group of poisonous snakes, probably the punishment that Wu Shen had arranged to punish her for her cruelty. Back home, after dealing with Fang Jingyu, Yu Rong still couldn't be happy. She raised her hand to her forehead and said, "Honey, my head is hurting so much. I really feel like killing someone right now. You have to find a way to stop me, or I will really lose control." After a while, Wu Shen listened and carried out the situation by throwing her onto the bed for a few rounds. Wu Shen, being the sneaky type, said, "It's okay. Ms. Yang, just deal with me first. We will figure out the rest later." Indeed, Mr. Wu, the method to stop a woman from going crazy is something that needs to be learned. A few hours later, the two had finished their work. Seeing Yu Rong leaving to take a bath, Wu Shen asked, "Have you seen the fireworks yet? If not, do it again." Yu Rong replied, "A few hours ago. Let the little husband rest. I will go take a bath first." Suddenly, Wu Shen received a call from the hospital. "Mr. Wu, the test results are in. Song Yuan Ming is in relatively good condition, but Wang Xiao Mai seems to be in trouble." He replied, "Okay, I understand the situation now. I will follow the doctor's treatment. Just follow the treatment plan." Thinking back to his wives, he was a bit worried. Previously, I only focused on running around the powerful families, neglecting the darkness lurking in people's hearts. In the darkness, things like Fang Jing Yu cannot happen again, especially with my wives. No one should be hurt. At that moment, and Huang hacked into Wu Shen's computer and said, "Hey, Wu Shen, I have to tell you, Wu Ruba and Bao Zhenhui couldn't handle the situation here, so I returned. No one can control her, and the movie can't continue filming." Wu Shen replied, "Serious, where is Mao Ru Song?" And Huang said, "Mr. Wu, the cleanup of the building was just completed, and the construction of the new film and television base started a few days ago. However, strange things have happened in the past 2 days. The construction site had to stop working. Why don't you come and see for yourself?" Wu Shen said, "Boss Mao, I have a solution for the situation in Pingzhou. Don't worry, I will inform you later. Just follow the plan until then." The young man then told Huang, "Hey, little sister, I will send you a structure. You can complete the unfinished part." After that, and Huang was surprised. "Hey, Wu Shen, I can help you with the code, but I don't know where to find the tools you requested later. Ask Ru Ba and Bao Zhenhui for what I don't know. Tomorrow I will go to Hong Kong. Today, I still have to convince someone." Wu Shen approached Lai Rubing. "My love, come and taste my craftsmanship." Rubing was skeptical. "Did you call me here just to have a meal? Do you know how difficult it is to make that special fragrance for the royal family? I am really busy these days." Wu Shen hugged her gently and affectionately. "I know that after the success of the Zhongdong project, Yu Rong will become stronger. I don't want to fall behind Yu Rong. Aha. Even though I tease, you helped to make hundreds of billions, trillions." Wu Shen whispered in her ear, "I can give you more than that." Rubing couldn't help but curse him. "You villain." Suddenly, Rubing turned back to Wu Shen with a suspicious look. "Wait, are you trying to deceive me again? Tell me, what do you want this time, my love? You are so clever that I can't resist, or do you want us to first?" Rubing interrupted the man. "Oh my god, talk straight to the point. What do you want after all?" Only then did Wu Shen speak. "The film industry and filming activities are both being targeted by the Sang family intentionally. Both sides are unable to proceed. To solve the problem thoroughly, we need to make the daughter of the Sang family belong to me. Pursuing women is not my strong suit, so why can't I handle Xiang Xianan? I need your help, my love. You have misunderstood. Xiang Xianan is more unruly than Yu Rong. If we don't assert dominance over her from the start, I am afraid you will have more headaches in the future." Ru Bing felt a headache. Dealing with another unruly woman, just the thought makes my head ache. "Fine, I will go with you to tame Xiang Xianan, but you have to bear the consequences now, or I won't let go of this anger. I am telling you straight, today I will not move at all. Let's see if you have the ability to make me happy, my love. How many tricks have you used so far to broaden my horizons?" Ru Bing continued to groan. "You? What are you doing, you villain? Despicable." The next day, Xiang Xianan kept bothering my husband. "He can tolerate me, but not her. The whole world knows I've been causing trouble for Wu Shen here for a few days. Lai Rubing, you dare to kill me here? How ridiculous." Lai Rubing didn't hesitate to hit Xiang Xianan. She exclaimed, "You really dare to hit me?" Xiang Xianan was caught off guard and fell to the ground. After Xiang Xianan passed out, Rubing took her to the basement where the props were stored. Bao Zhenhu worriedly said, "Do you really want to kill Miss Diang? Is there no other way?" Wu Shen replied, "Bao Yao master, my new film can't be shot. The film studio can't be built, and moreover, she is not the first to do this to me. If I let her go again, who knows when there will be a third or fourth time. The project keeps getting delayed. How much do I lose every day?" Bao Zhenhu couldn't hide his concern. What will happen after killing her? Will the Xiang family just overlook it? Wu Shen continued, "If it's someone else in the Xiang family, they really wouldn't dare. Only Xiang Xianan is too special. both arrogant and independent. Being imprisoned in North America for a long time, causing trouble outside by herself. Even the household staff are not permanent. In short, people who interact with her are very few. Tsang Xiaonan also woke up in a daze thinking to herself, they are discussing how to kill me. Bao Zhenhui kept asking, so what then? And Huang raised his computer and said, look, this is the specific facial scan data of Tsang Xiaonan. Find someone with similar height to undergo plastic surgery in Korea to become Tsang Xiaonan. Not difficult. Ru Bing continued, then use a vocal cord imitation device to imitate her voice, and finally make this Tsang Xiaonan clone obediently return to North America, and Huang use the voice imitation device to say a few words for Bao to see if he can tell the difference. And Huang then tried, my Bao Hai, it's been a few years. Seems like you gained some manly charm, not bad. Aha. And you've got abs? Take off your shirt to show her. Bao Zhenhui couldn't help but be amazed, he exclaimed. Holy shit, this voice tone is exactly like hers. Lai Ru Bing added, Xia Qinshi has a height and body shape similar to Tsang Xiaonan. Anyway, she doesn't have anything else to do. Let her play the role of Tsang Xiaonan. Haha. True to be Ru Bing's wife, always coming up with the best solutions. Tsang Xiaonan heard these words and tightly held hands, thinking to herself, bold tactics, if not heard up close, I really can't imagine they would play like this. Lai Ru Bing walked over to Tsang Xiaonan. All set, I'll take care of it. At this point, Tsang Xiaonan couldn't just lie still and accept death. She quickly got up. Lai Ru Bing, how dare you touch me? Everyone's faces were startled, and Huang, scared, covered his mouth, while Wu Shen rushed to protect Lai Ru Bing. Tsang Xiaonan looked at Wu Shen with resentment, and you too. Tsang Xiaonan stabbed Wu Shen with a sword. After finishing the job, she turned to Bao Zhenhui and asked, Bao Hu, they wanted to kill me first, now they're all dead. Well, what about you? Still want to help them. Bao Zhenhui seemed like he was turning into stone. He couldn't help but swallow nervously, sweat pouring down his face. Wu Shen sat up and applauded. Tsang Xiaonan, quick and decisive action. Convincing eyes, thank you again for directing the performance, Mr. Xiang. She exclaimed in surprise, cut. They wanted to kill me in the scene. Lai Ru Bing did not die. But why did my feeling just now feel so real? And Huang raised his computer and said, of course, it's just a film, haha. The program controls a station for indoor scenes, it's just a small matter. Moreover, when a person focuses too much on one point, the feeling at another point is not actually remembered clearly. Tsang Xiaonan couldn't believe it. The feeling of touching Lai Ru Bing's neck may be an illusion I can roughly understand, but Wu Shen being stabbed in the stomach is also me misremembering, right? The young man pulled out his shirt and said, upgraded magical props can create a penetrating effect wherever they are stabbed. It's just a film. Not every step requires high technology. By improving magical props slightly, the effect is still surprisingly usual. Tsang Xiaonan had nothing more to say and bowed her head to herself. This man, Wu Shen, is playing me again. Meanwhile, Wu Shen also looked at Tsang Xiaonan intently. Her body twitching again means it's time. This is her secret that I have known for 1,000 years. After being defeated by the same person twice, the arrogance in her heart will have a huge fluctuation. At this time, if I flirt with her, the difficulty will change from extremely difficult to normal. After pondering, Wu Shen approached. Miss Xiang, if Ru Bing and I observed correctly, you just shivered. Is it similar to last time when you needed to change your pants? Well, I guess this time I benefited from it. And how about Ping Zhao? Can he still be leisurely like this? Ha ha ha. Ping Zhao, compared to playing pranks with you in Hong Kong. This is much simpler. Tsang Xiaonan was surprised by Wu Shen's actions, suddenly moving her feet and hands. Tsang Xiaonan muttered to herself, I don't understand what Wu Shen's attitude ultimately means. I've been sabotaging his set for days. He should hate me to the core, but these gestures seem like he's flattering me. Tsang Xiaonan shook her head, denying her own thoughts. No, now his girlfriend Lai Ru Bing is here. Why would he dare to flirt with me? Countless thoughts appeared in her mind. Why does he know so much about me? He truly is unpredictable. Although she thought so, when Wu Shen touched her, her face turned as red as a tomato. Tsang Xiaonan may seem strong on the outside, but her inner self is just like any other girl. Today, she had met someone who understood her better than anyone ever had before.